Hare Krishna, dear everyone. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees. This video is meant for my family, friends, colleagues and contacts. Moving from the point where we left the summary of chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita last time, when Arjuna expresses his desire to Krishna not to fight the Kauravas. Arjuna gives various reasons to Krishna, or rather excuses to Krishna as to why he doesn't want to fight the Kauravas. Some of the reasons that he gives to Krishna are that sin will overcome me for killing my own kinsmen. What good would it be if I kill my own kinsmen and acquire the kingdom? I want them to be there with me, but they wouldn't be there. And that I will have to go to hell for killing my own people and destroying the family tradition. And furthermore, he expresses or he elaborates on these points, saying that if I kill my own kinsmen and if I destroy the family tradition, the women of the family will degrade, which will give rise to unwanted progeny. He also says that people like Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, overcome by greed, may not feel anything in killing their own kinsmen, but I, being in knowledge, why should I do the same thing? So saying all these and giving all these excuses, he puts aside his bow and arrow and says, I don't want to fight. Prabhupada, in the purport of text number 46, which is the last verse of chapter number 1, says that such a kind-hearted person or a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya and he was supposed to fight, but he wasn't fighting. Because while he was a Kshatriya, he was also a devotee of the Lord. And one of the qualities of the devotee of the Lord is that he or she is compassionate towards other living entities. And so was Arjuna. Even though Kauravas were ready to kill them, to kill the Pandavas, he was still thinking about the welfare of the family and the traditional values. So chapter number 2 builds on from this point. Chapter number 2 is titled Sankhya Yoga and very rightly translated by Prabhupada as contents of the Gita summarized. This chapter establishes the summum bonum for the entire human kind. If somebody has read all the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, then one might perhaps refer to chapter number 2 and discover all the gems of all the other chapters in this particular chapter, which is why Prabhupada says that it is the contents of the Bhagavad Gita summarized. Some of the following chapters, like chapter number 4, Transcendental Knowledge, then you have other chapters like the Opulence of the Lord, and all the rest of the Bhakti Yoga chapter. All of these chapters deal with all the important topics in great detail. But chapter number 2, if somebody wants to take a bird's eye view of the entire content of the Bhagavad Gita, then one must visit this particular chapter. Some of the important topics of discussion in chapter number 2 are how the absolute truth can be realized, who is Bhagavan, what is the difference between Aryans and non-Aryans, why Arjuna should fight, what is the difference between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, what is transcendental consciousness, the characteristics of a person in transcendental consciousness, the material trap, Krishna consciousness and peace. There are many points, there are many terms that Prabhupada has used, has referred to in the chapter. So if you really want to have the taste of it, you will have to read the chapter for this. So coming on to in this particular video, we will be discussing just the first 4 or 5 points, and the rest of the points I would be posting later whenever I would get an opportunity or time to post. So the first question is, how can the absolute truth be realized? The absolute truth can be realized in 3 phases. The first phase is the Brahman realization, in which we say that Brahman, or the all-pervasive form of the Lord. Sometimes we just say that, oh, the Lord is everywhere, Bhagwan to har jagah hai. This is the impersonal feature of the Lord. The second feature of the Lord is the Paramatma feature, that is, the Lord resides in our hearts as the super soul. So there are many souls like you and I, individuals, but there is one super soul, common super soul, who resides in all of us, which is perhaps the reason why all of us are connected in some way or the other by design of destiny, because the super soul sits and observes all our desires and all our activities and reciprocates accordingly, either in this janma or another janma of a soul. And then the third feature of the form is the Bhagavan, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like you and I are persons, so is the Lord. And unfortunately, many people don't understand such a simple philosophy, because they say that, okay, I can see you, I can see somebody else, but I cannot see God. So it is just like asking a CEO that, come on, I want to meet you. Will you come? Why should the CEO come? He's a busy man. We need to take an appointment and we need to develop required qualifications to meet the person like a CEO. So imagine that if just for meeting some material CEO, we need to develop certain qualification. So in order to meet the CEO, the king of this entire universe, we obviously need to have some qualification to see him directly. So this is the position of Bhagavan, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why is he called Bhagavan, and why we say that Krishna is Bhagavan? Because he has got all the 6 opulences in 100% potency. And what are those 6 opulences? All beautiful, all knowledgeable, all powerful, all wealthy, all famous, and all renunciate. All these qualities are there in bits and pieces in all of us, in various degrees, at various levels, but not 100%. Today we are beautiful, tomorrow we may be ugly because of old age. Today we are healthy, tomorrow we may not be. Today we are alive, today our body is alive, tomorrow our body may not be alive. So we are very restricted, we have our limitations. But the Lord is the Lord because he doesn't have any such limitation. We can see just with our eyes, and our eyes can do just one function, that is of seeing. But the Lord can do all the other activities of all the other organs with each of his organs. That is why he is the Lord and we are just some living entities. So because we are the part and parcel of the Lord, that is why we have got some qualities that are there in him. So qualitatively we are similar to the Lord, but quantitatively we differ like anything. So there is absolutely no comparison between what the Lord does, his activities, and what we do and our activities. We are just a speck in the entire creation of the Lord. So this is the position of Bhagwan. And who are the Aryans and non-Aryans? Prabhupada in purport 2, that is purport of text number 2, describes that Aryans are those people who lead their lives around God consciousness and who have their civilization developed around God consciousness. They are called Aryans. And people who develop their civilization without having any understanding of God are called non-Aryans. So it is just as simple as that. And what is the difference between matter and spirit? Matter is our body, whatever we can see, the material existence around. But for a very simple understanding, when we are child, our bodies look different. When we grow to youth, when we are young, our bodies are different, and when we grow old, our bodies are different. So body keeps changing all the time because it is matter, because the molecules keep changing, the chemicals in the body keep changing. So all of these things, whereas the soul is the same. It doesn't. So body has its experience only because the soul is there. Soul is very, very tiny, very minuscule, not even perhaps seen with the help of a microscope. But it is such a spark within that the Lord has made us, that just because of that little spark, the body is moving. And the day that spark leaves this material body, this matter, you cut the body, you throw the body, you dump the body, there is no experience. There is no experience of pain or pleasure or sorrow, nothing whatsoever. So a person has to realize that one is a soul and not this body. So furthermore, in the next video, what is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita? From that point, we will pick in the next video. Thank you very much for listening to me.